the first of a new generation of British military helicopters has been formally handed over to the Army. It's one of 34 Wildcats being bought by the Army, along with 28 for the Royal Navy, for more than £1.5 billion. They're to replace the current fleet of Lynxes for both services and come with better weapons, surveillance systems and more powerful engines. From the Farnborough Air Show, James Hurst reports.
The Defence Secretary took to the cockpit of his newest purchase this morning, although he didn't actually get off the ground.
I did ask them if they were going to give me the keys at the end of this ceremony, but apparently not. They don't trust me with the keys.
But Mr Hammond did get to meet some of the pilots who will be flying Wildcats in the near future. It is a multi-role aircraft, destined for battlefield work, potentially including command and control and force protection. But the main reason the Army wants it is for surveillance.
This is a combination of a light utility helicopter and an advanced reconnaissance helicopter. That is to say, it's flying some sophisticated sensor suites, it's able to pass off data to other airframes, including attack helicopters, and it's able to pass information down to ground troops. It can also carry people should you wish to insert light teams in a more benign situation where reconnaissance is a lower priority.
So now the first of these Wildcats have been delivered, they will be used for training by the Army and will go into actual service in 2014. That means they won't be used in Afghanistan, but the Army insists they do have an important future.
This is for the contingency era, the more demanding era in some ways, where we're going to face greater uncertainties. Afghanistan is very tough, but we have a pretty good understanding of the environment. The future is going to be more uncertain, it's going to come at us quickly. Sophisticated systems like that are going to allow us to gather the information that will allow us to change faster than our opponents, which is going to be critical to success.
The Royal Navy's version of the Wildcat will start to be delivered next year, coming into service in 2015. For its main naval role, anti-surface warfare, it's being equipped with new missiles and a new 360-degree radar system.
With any single sweep of the radar, we can cover about 150 miles with the radar, compared to 50 miles on a 180-degree at a minute. So it just means that our picture compilation for the recognised maritime picture is just much easier.
This is the proof of development of small ship aviation into the future. The significant advance in technology in both radar and weapons that this aircraft will bring in the longer term is very, very important to the way we're going to deliver force from the sea in the Royal Navy.
All this technology and capability comes at a price, £1.6 billion for 62 aircraft. We know you're spending money very carefully at the moment. Why is it important to spend money on this fleet of Lynx Wildcats?
Well, maintaining our rotary capabilities is crucially important to the manoeuvrable, agile and flexible force that we're trying to build in Future Force 2020. And this is a project which is being delivered on time, on budget, and that's my kind of project.
During the project, MPs had raised concerns about the cost if we go back to 2009. Are you confident this and the support contract genuinely offer value for money?
Yes, and I think we're driving out cost from the support programme. We're delivering efficiencies by the single operating base at Yeovilton. I'd like to see this being taken forward as an exemplar of how we can make these contracts lean and efficient, delivering the frontline power we need at the most cost-effective way.
Today's price tag includes £250 million worth of support and training over the next 5 years. Wildcat should be around much longer than that. It's expected to be operating into the 2040s. James Hurst, Forces News at the Farnborough Air Show.
Well, earlier today I went down to the air show at Farnborough for a close-up look at the Wildcat, a chat with its builder and also one of the pilots who'll be flying the aircraft. 70 years ago, an aircraft nicknamed the Wildcat was building a very proud reputation as a carrier-based fighter for the Allies in the Second World War. That's quite a reputation for this aircraft to live up to, but not one that's intimidated the makers, AgustaWestland. Les Cameron's with me. What makes the 2012 Wildcat special?
Well, this is our new twin-engine, multi-role, multi-mission aircraft, which is now given superior hot and high performance. We've built on the foundation of the Lynx helicopter. We've retained a lot of features which still makes this the best and most agile aircraft at the back end of a ship. It's a stealthier aircraft. We've fully embraced new technology. We have a more powerful tail rotor, we have a stealthier tail cone, and we have infrared suppression. So this is the next aircraft to take us forward with superior hot and high performance and an excellent cockpit for future situational awareness.
And just very briefly, what about the very challenging environments that she'll have to fly in?
Well, again, the more powerful engines, 37% more power that we've given the pilots, so again, excellent hot and high performance for performance in areas like the Gulf and Afghanistan, etc.
Thanks, Les. Well, I suppose the $64,000 question is, what is she like to fly? Well, let's head into the cockpit. In there, Major Tim Pittaway from the Army Air Corps. You've been involved in the Wildcat project over the past year, so what's she like to fly compared to, say, an Apache or the Lynx?
Well, the aircraft is, it's got a lot of heritage from the Lynx helicopter. In terms of handling, it's very similar to the Lynx. There are some tweaks there, but fundamentally the same. But as you can see in the cockpit, and anybody who's seen a Lynx cockpit would see there's a big difference here. We're now fundamentally talking about a digital cockpit. The way the pilot or the aircrew interact with that cockpit has changed, and in the cockpit itself you can see that we've got 4 big screens here that gives the pilots the information that displays to him. We've also got down here the computers, the brains of the aircraft, and that's fundamentally where the aircraft's brains are and how it operates. The role that the Army are going to use this aircraft for is a fundamentally find and reconnaissance platform, although it is a multi-role aircraft, so we'll be able to use it for the traditional Lynx roles. In those find roles, we'll look to use the electro-optic device on the front of the aircraft, the big sort of nose turret there, and we'll be able to hand those targets over to an Apache, either by voice or using a data transfer capability. Also, we've got Bowman radios on here, and soldiers on the ground will be familiar with Bowman, but not something that's been typically in helicopters operated by the Army Air Corps recently. So we'll be able to talk to guys with the radio and hopefully get their situational awareness of what's going on the ground in the battle space on the ground.
All right, Tim, thanks very much. Well, it's certainly convinced the MOD. They've parted with £1.6 billion in this contract. The Army version comes into service in 2014. The Navy get their hands on this aircraft a year later.